Welcome back to another episode, a very special, one-off episode of Whose Car Is It Anyway? I was actually just watching Whose Line Is It Anyway? I thought that'd be kind of a cool title for a car podcast. It's My First Car podcast with your hosts, Dan and Jeff.
Which host were you watching?
Which host?
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Drew
not.
Carey?
No, actually, it was a British guy.
Clive Anderson?
Yes.
Yeah, the classics.
The classics, exactly. But you still had our boys, Ryan and Colin. Yeah, they were still in it. Yeah.
Man, that's a good show.
I know. It is a really good show. Not as good as this show, am I right?
You're right.
That's right, people. Today we have reached out to you. We thought it'd be fun to do like a Q&A episode. Are these considered episodes? I guess so, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. We thought it'd be fun to do a Q&A episode of My First Car. So we asked you guys, the patrons, and I believe we asked on Twitter as well. Well, I know we did.
Yeah.
And we got some questions from you, and we're going to answer them as best as we can. So, do you want to say anything before we get started?
We got like 700 questions.
700. And we're going to answer them all.
All of them.
This is going to be a 7-hour-long podcast.
So stay tuned.
We narrowed the questions down. What do we have, like 15 or something? Or 12?
We cut it down. I didn't go to work today. I just spent the whole day
cutting down
the questions.
The list of questions.
We got to 15, so we're good.
Awesome.
But yeah, the first questions we're obviously going to take are from Patreon, from the Discord server, and from the actual Patreon site.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, patrons. You guys get special rights and privileges.
Yeah, your question is guaranteed to be answered. The Twitter questions, not so much.
No. If we don't like it,
get out of here, question.
Question number 1. Are you ready?
I am prepared.
Question number 1 from SilSKY from the Patreon. What is the most expensive car you have ever driven?
I believe his name is pronounced SILSKY. I know you want to make him look a little silky, but it's SILSKY or SilSKY.
Are you dyslexic?
Yeah. What is the most impressive car you've ever driven? That's a good question.
Impressive, not expensive, not
right.
Whatever.
Impressive. Do you have one?
Not really. I've honestly, well, okay. Car. I'm gonna use car very loosely.
Okay.
I've driven tanks with the military. With the
course,
army.
That would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was a cool big. Oh yeah.
You win. Podcast over.
Big 8-wheel engineer lav light armored vehicles. Those things are cool.
Oh man.
What about you?
I don't have nearly anything that cool. So before I did the YouTube thing, I was a photographer. I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but I was a photographer for a couple of online car advertising agencies. And my job was to drive around and take pictures of cars. And occasionally I got to move them around. But does that qualify as driving them?
Yeah.
So I've driven a lot of really cool and impressive vehicles, Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Porsches and stuff, because that was my job, to drive them to like the spot where we were shooting them and then shoot. And by the way, the spot, it was always on the dealer's lot, so it's not like I drove them like down. Well, actually, sometimes I did have to drive them down the street. They had a separate lot for photos, but it wasn't like I took them for a joyride or anything. The one car that I was like super amazed by, I'm not sure if it was the most expensive one that I shot, but it was the Mercedes McLaren SLR, or the Mercedes McLaren. What was it called? Now I have to look it up. It was a long time ago. It was when I first started shooting cars. And I don't even know what year it was. Let me see. They were produced from 2003 to 2010. I would guess it was mid 2000s. So like 2005 or 6. And I drove it. It was dark blue on the outside, and it was like a red on the inside, if I remember correctly. And It was amazing. I didn't know how to start it. I had to ask the dealership how to start it, and it just sounded so mean and stuff. And they were all watching me like super nervous. I would like wrap it around the only pole on the lot or something. But no, it went smoothly. And like ever since that day, I can't, like, that car is like the one car that I always remember. Another one too that I remember not just because it was impressive, just because of how surprised I was at the little room there was inside the cockpit, was a Dodge Viper. Also the Acura NSX. Both those vehicles, I could barely fit inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not a big guy. You're tall, but
I'm 6'2". I mean, I'm not lean.
You're not like The Rock.
Right.
Either.
That's true.
Just a little bit smaller.
I'm a little tinier than The Rock.
With a big beard.
Yes. The beard makes up for my lack of muscular
steroids. I mean,
oh, you heard it here first. His secret has been revealed.
Yep. So. Yeah, those cars are pretty tiny.
They are really small cars. Good question, SILSKY.
Cool. And actually, now that I think about it, when I worked for a Volkswagen / Audi dealership, I got to move the cars around.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. But only like back then it was just like the original, I think, Audi TTs and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. SILSKY.
SILSKY.
Sorry. StellarMC or Matt. If you were to modify your vehicle, I'm gonna put in here your current daily driver.
Okay.
If you were to modify your current daily driver, what would you choose first, performance or appearance?
Ooh, that's a good question too. See, my current daily driver is an SUV.
That's why I put that in there.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I guess I haven't really had a desire to modify its appearance. I guess I'd go with performance. I'd love to hear that thing. So it sounds amazing when you rev it through a tunnel or something, you know, when you really step on it and you're going in a tunnel, and it sounds awesome. So I think maybe would an exhaust system be considered performance or appearance or auditory?
I think for a lot of people, exhaust goes under appearance.
I know
you're doing it just to get the looks.
And that's why I would do it. I just wanted to hear the cool noise. I didn't want to actually increase its power. It's got plenty of power, a supercharged engine from Jaguar. I'm not going to complain about any of that. So I don't think I'd need more power, but I'd love to hear the way it sounds with a nice straight pipes, straight pipes front to back, nothing impeding it.
My buddy actually got on his Dodge Charger, his new Charger.
Mm-hmm.
He got an exhaust system that has a block, so it goes all the way back, but around the middle of the exhaust, it has an opening that he can remotely.
Oh yeah. It's that's a bypass valve or something.
So he's got one of those. So it's either kind of loud or really loud.
Right. My Aston actually has that built in from factory.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you're driving around the neighborhood at relatively acceptable speeds, you're fine.
Yep.
If you punch it and it starts to climb past about 4,000 RPM, the little valve open. I don't know if it's called a valve, but it opens up and it makes a really loud noise and it sounds awesome. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where did he get that done? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to ask him, but
okay.
I'll send you a message.
All right.
I would just get a new car for performance.
Wow. I don't think that's the question. I think you have to answer performance or appearance on the old. What do you the Hyundai?
It's a toaster. It's a Kia toaster.
Maybe some new toaster switches.
I'd probably there's no point in doing performance because to get any kind of actual performance out of it, I'd have to just put a new car on top. So, and the commute, don't need a performance car. Do some appearance stuff. Maybe, I don't know.
The first thing I would do to your car is I would drop it.
It's just slam it and.
Well, that's the first thing that has to be done because if you're thinking about wheels, they're just going to look silly if you got 4 or 5 inch wheel gap. So you've got to slam it first and then worry about the rest of the stuff first.
I might put a lift kit on it and then
a lift kit. Knowing you probably would. You and your truck loving ways.
Yeah. Okay. Next question from Jamie. What's your...
you missed incogcheeto.
I had it highlighted and everything. It's my first day.
It's my first day.
Incogcheeto. Hey guys, what kind of music do you like to listen to on long drives, short drives, leisure drives, podcast or radio? What do you want to listen to?
So I tend to listen to I never listen to podcasts while driving, and I'm not sure why, because I love podcasts, but I tend to listen to them when I'm just doing like boring stuff around the house. In the car, I know this is such like a cop-out answer, but it's 100% true. I don't have a favorite type of music genre. I listen to whatever I want. I just, I'll pull up my playlist, I'll put it on random, and it's got all kinds of different types of music on there, except country. I can't get into country. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, I can't give you a more specific answer, incogcheeto.
Are you listening to your phone, like Bluetooth, or are you listening to the radio?
Bluetooth. Usually, if I'm by myself, it's usually, I pop on my Google Play Music, and I just randomize my playlists and stuff, and just let it do what it do.
Now, how much Eminem have you listened to this week?
0. I'm not a fan of Eminem. 0 Eminem this week. I think pretty much 0 Eminem all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We'll
have to start a
I don't do the
podcast.
Marshall Mathers thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I kind of go back and forth. I don't like radio.
Yeah,
I find it really annoying
and repetitive.
Because it's the same. Like literally, especially around Toronto, you could go to 5 different stations and it's the exact same song.
Pretty much
every single time.
Yep.
And it's just annoying. I don't know. I like listening to podcasts a lot while I'm driving. Audiobooks sometimes, depending on if I find one I like.
Mm-hmm.
But not. I actually don't. I don't listen to a lot of music. It's more podiocasts.
Ooh.
Podiocasts.
That sounds like. Oh man, sounds like somebody missed the boat on that.
Yeah.
Podiocasts.
Man, we should start a podcast.
Okay, buying the domain name right now.
Whew. Okay, now we can ask Jamie's question.
All right, Jamie. Oh, can I ask this one?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm curious about your answer on this one.
Ah.
Because I know you're a truck guy, so I feel like you're gonna like divide some people up right now with your answer. Jamie Hayden asks you, Jeff, what's your favorite or your overall favorite car brand?
Whew. Now, I understand why you're asking about the truck thing, because every truck person, either if you're a Ford guy, you hate Chevy.
Which Jamie is, by the way. Jamie is a Ford guy.
Ford guy. He's probably got the picture of the guy peeing on the Chevy
the typical
symbol or something.
sticker, window sticker.
Yeah. I don't have one because I haven't found the brand that I want to be 100% loyal to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I find a brand like it used to be for a while, it was actually Mazda, where I had a Mazda, my wife had a Mazda a while ago, and we were happy. But I don't really have a favorite car brand.
Okay, that's
Lamborghini.
I was gonna say maybe they're listening. Mine's Ferrari. Out of all the cars I've owned, I've never repeated a car brand.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one to answer for me too. If I'm looking at things, I've never owned a Mercedes, but I know my dad loves them, and I know they make really good vehicles, and I love everything they make. I just never had one. But I think I would pick Mercedes. I mentioned them too for like the first answer for the first question. So maybe Mercedes, if you're listening, hook a brother up.
It's actually interesting that like I really wouldn't mind it, like thinking about the big car companies.
Mm-hmm.
So Ford, not so much Chevy, but maybe.
Ouch!
Ouch! If you're listening, I don't want a car. But think about all the big ones. There's probably at least one car from each major brand that I wouldn't mind driving.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think maybe that's why I would pick. I don't know, like Audi too makes some fine.
Yeah.
And I've never owned one of those either, but they make some really, really nice cars. Jaguar makes some good cars. The SUV that I'm driving is amazing. And they have like their roadsters. Have you seen I don't know what it's called, but the Jag four-door sedan thing. It's like, it's so nice.
Is that the Ghibli thing?
No, that's Maserati.
Oh, why the?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
The Jag. Well, they're right across the street from each other. at the dealership
true,
park that
yeah.
I go to. But anyway, yeah, I forgot what it's called, but it's just so nice. Now they've got like the E-Pace coming out. And
Yeah, oh yeah.
so I don't know. Jaguar makes some nice vehicles as well. I don't know if I can pick a favorite, but if I had to, I think I would go with Mercedes, just because my dad's owned a couple of them. He's owned 3 since I can remember. He owned a '79 diesel, and then he bought a 2004 E500, I believe it was, as his like weekend car. That thing was nothing but trouble. Actually, it was factory airbags.
Oh really?
And yeah, those things are always failing on him. But then he got rid of that. Now he's just got a little C-Class that he picked up a couple years ago. So, but they're all really, really nice cars. So I don't know. I guess I'd have to, if I have to answer, I'm going to answer Mercedes.
Yeah, Mercedes is obviously another brand that I would love to own. If you're listening, local Mercedes dealership. But I have no idea which one I would want, because there's so. I guess if I have to take one, it would be the AMG GT.
Mm-hmm. If you have to
Or
take,
I guess
I'll take it. I don't know.
Or the S-Class Coupe. I like that one.
What about the G-Wagon?
I don't know.
That's a cool truck.
Yeah,
Not
I saw
really
another one this week.
Did you? Is that a sighting?
No sightings.
You didn't see it this week?
I did see it this week.
So
yeah.
it's a sighting.
It's a sighting.
You slipped a sighting in there. I saw an early 80s Lotus Esprit this week.
Ooh,
So,
nice car.
Well, one of my favorites, honestly. It's when I was a kid, it was like, the poster car for me. So
Yeah.
just because I always wanted to be a little bit different. Everybody's got Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I'm like, no, I want a Lotus.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was nice. It was black.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now
What do we got? Stellar.
Again,
Yeah.
man, so many questions. What's the longest drive you've ever done without stopping to rest or sleep?
That's a good one. I've been on some long drives, but the long drives, I've never actually been driving. I've just been a passenger. Me personally driving, I think probably only about 4.5 hours, I think, is the longest I've ever driven without stopping. And it was for work, and I drove from Toronto to North Bay for work. I stayed there over the weekend. This is still when I was shooting cars, back in my car shooting days, not with a gun, with a camera.
So violent.
Yeah, I know. I shoot things. I used to shoot insects. I used to shoot plants. Shoot everything. I know, right? But yeah, it was only about 4.5 hours. Nothing too crazy. I think the longest I've been in a car that I wasn't driving in was 11 hours. And I think my dad drove 11 hours one shot to New Jersey when we went to like Ocean City. I'm pretty sure. I don't think we stopped, except I guess at the border. But yeah. What about you?
Florida? So like
Florida. That's 24 hours, man.
Yeah, at least.
You definitely had to stop.
We stopped for gas.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it took every other year we rotate between Myrtle Beach and Florida. Myrtle Beach is about like 16 hours.
Okay.
Florida was like 24.
Yeah. I know. I've done that drive too, actually, but my parents were crazy and they stopped along the way. I mean, they weren't crazy.
They weren't crazy. Yeah, they're normal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I drive all the way I drive majority of it. My wife usually drives like a couple hours during the day.
Yeah.
So I usually end up sleeping like maybe an hour in the whole time, if that. Whew. Yeah, it makes me tired just thinking about it. But yeah, we stop for gas and that's about it. We just go all the way.
That is a long
kids and everything.
drive. Wow. And here I am with my little 4.5 hour drive. Oh, yeah. Real warrior.
It's funny thinking about it. When I was in the military, every weekend I'd come home from Petawawa to Toronto. Was about 4.5, 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing that every Friday and then every Sunday.
So that's just like, that's just another day to you.
Yeah. Driving's. But see, that's when you want the nice, comfortable car, and not.
I know. What did you make those? What do you make those drives in? Just all the cars you've owned over the years?
The Petawawa was all the Mazda Protege 5.
Yeah.
which is nice. It was comfy.
Yeah.
Nothing bad. I didn't have AC for a while because it
Ooh.
blew up in the car. But just driving, like when you're driving up north, you put all the windows down, crank your music up, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about the drive up to North Bay. Like once you reach a certain point, it's just the scenery is so nice and it's just so relaxing. No traffic or anything. And it was in my Saab, that 0493 Aero.
Nice.
But I you know what's funny about that trip is I went there with the car in perfect condition. I came back missing a front lip.
What?
Yeah, it was
one
of the days. It was raining really, really hard, and I went to. I think I was trying to find a dealership because it was like not really located on the map, and I had to like drive around. So I drove into like a Canadian Tire dealer or a Canadian Tire parking lot. Super rainy day, puddles everywhere. I drove through a puddle that I thought was just a puddle. This thing must have been like 4 or 5 inches deep because my car dipped down, and then when I came back up, the lip was gone.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I got out of the car and I pulled it out of the puddle and I stuck it in the back of my car, but it was destroyed. Like there was no. I had to get a replacement shortly after.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that was
That's
unfortunate.
rough.
I know. I drove down. I was so self-conscious too, and I was driving back, and I thought everybody was looking at my ripped apart bumper. Like, oh man, this guy's got a nice car, but what happened to the front there? Yeah, that was a trip to remember. That's for sure.
Yeah. All the trips. Actually, we drove to Myrtle Beach the first time with my oldest. He was like 6 months old. We drove there in my Lancer, Mitsubishi Lancer.
Oh wow.
And then we did it once in the minivan, and now we've done it like 3 or 4 times in the Nissan Rogue.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the Rogue is actually a good view. I was going to say, how do the kids handle that long of a drive?
My oldest is fine. He's done it like he's done it 6 times now or 5 times now, so he's fine. He just kind of sleeps, and then we give him a tablet for like a couple hours in the day.
Okay.
If it's going to Florida, we'll do the tablet thing. If we're not, he can sit there and we can play games or whatever.
Okay.
My youngest just complains.
Yeah, the whole time.
Well, the whole time, every day, not just the trip, but just.
Oh, kids are great.
Oh, it's the best.
Everybody's always like, "Oh yeah, kid's driving me nuts and giving me a headache. He doesn't let me sleep. And yesterday I had to pay this much, and the other day he broke his arm. Totally worth it, though. Totally worth it."
Oh yeah.
That's always the way they end these. They're not selling me on kids, is what I'm trying to say.
Well,
even if you say totally worth it in the end.
When was the last time you heard of a kid getting sprayed by a skunk?
Oh, has that happened to you?
No, but your dog got sprayed by a skunk.
That's true. Yeah, my dog did get sprayed. She still stinks, man.
Oh, that's
like
rough.
if you get really close to her face, you could still smell the skunk on her. And I don't know what to do anymore. I think it's going away. I read online that it could take like up to a month for it to just disappear naturally. So I guess that's what's left for me to do is just wait it out because I can't. It's bad. Like I can't even have her around me because she stinks.
Totally worth it.
Totally worth it, though. Totally worth it.
Okay. Where are we on now? Spartan?
Spartan, yeah.
Spartan. I think one of our newest patrons, actually.
Oh, thanks, Spartan. Welcome to the family.
Yeah. Have you ever been stranded by a car? What's the story behind it?
It sounds like you've got a story, so I'm going to let you go first.
My Mazda overheated, and I don't know if that's stranded, but we got stuck there I got stuck on the side of the road for a few hours.
That's kind of stranded, nowhere. I guess. Yeah.
It didn't happen to me, but here's a funny story you'll like about my Talon.
Oh, great. The first thing I thought of when I read this question was Talon, because I was going to tell the same story about somebody else's Talon that I've been in that stranded us.
Okay. It's not... The Talon died a few times.
Oh, I believe that.
I don't want to talk about it.
I totally believe that.
It died a few times at high school and some other places. But the story I actually want to tell was my Mazda, my Protege 5. When I got back from Afghanistan, my dad was driving it to the army base to give it to me, or to give it back so I could use it again. And my sister was driving it at the time, and the belt just disintegrated on it as she was driving it up there. in the middle of nowhere, belt just explodes, and car obviously dies.
Yikes.
Yeah, like literally in the middle of nowhere on the way to Petawawa, like in between Algonquin Park and Petawawa.
So just fields of nothing.
No, nothing. No cell service, nothing.
So what did you do?
I wasn't there, so I didn't do anything.
What did he do?
My dad was in a different car, so he had to drive ahead to the next
so your sister was
town.
driving it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did she do?
She sat there.
And cried?
Pretty much. Well, my dad fortunately was following behind and saw what happened.
Oh, well, that's good. But if there's no cell service, I guess he can take his working vehicle and go get some help.
He had to drive ahead like 45 minutes to the closest town.
Holy.
To get... I don't know if he got a belt or if he... Because he's basically a mechanic. But
okay.
I don't know if he got a towed or I can't remember.
I would think that something like that happens. You don't risk it by getting just the belt and try to install it yourself. Even if you're a mechanic, like what if you're missing a tool? All it takes is one tool.
Yeah.
So I would have had a toad. I hope that's what he did for your sister's
Yeah.
sake. Or is she still there today?
I don't know. I haven't heard from... Oh, wait. But yeah, it was rough because they were trying to surprise me with it, like by bringing it back for when I got there.
Yeah.
And because of that, it wasn't fixed in time and had to wait and stuff. Anyways, but that said,
yeah, that kind of sucks. 45 minutes is a long way to drive to even find some sort of help.
Oh yeah.
So your sister sat there for a while.
Yeah, and I locked my keys in my Talon a few times. That's
well, you can't blame the Talon for that. You can blame it for everything else, but you can't blame it for that.
What about you? Stranded?
Of all the cars, let me see. So I guess starting with the Focus, it died on me once. The story with that car, and I think I told this story in the very first episode, is I drove it to work one day, and it was raining, again with the rain, and it was a puddle, again with the puddles, and I had a cold air intake that I had installed myself that kind of ran underneath the car, and it sucked up some water and died.
Yeah.
I thought that was the end of the vehicle. I think all that happened was that the water got sucked in by the filter and blocked all air intake into the car. It didn't actually suck the water into the car. Otherwise, that would have been bad because it started shortly afterwards. But ever since that day, the car was a little iffy. So it did die on me on a very, very busy Highway 401 while I was in the left lane. It just stopped working. And I had to pull over to the side. And I was just like, I was on the side of the road and people were whooshing by. This is back when the 401 wasn't a parking lot at all times of the day. So I had to like reach under my car. I reached under the car. I pulled out the filter with my hands. Like it wasn't even attached very tightly. I pulled it out with my hands.
Yeah,
it was soaking wet. And I just sort of like did one of those hand motions to get the water out of there. Put it back on, car started up, and I drove home.
Beautiful.
So that was the Focus. It didn't really strand me, but it did break down because of my negligence. For like later, I've never really had a car. My Aston was overheating or was threatening to overheat for a while after it got in for service, and that was scary because you don't want that to. Like you don't want. I was really careful. Every time I saw the temperature gauge rise, I would have to stop, pull over, and see what the heck was wrong with it. Turned out it was a couple hoses that had been switched, and it wasn't getting the coolant that it needed.
What jokers did that service?
Yeah, I can't remember. I would totally tell you if I could remember, and I can't remember where I took it the first time I got the car. It might have been the original dealership I bought it from, which is no longer there.
Obviously,
yeah. So that was kind of not really stranding either. And then I've had something happen with the Galaxy where the left front brake seized up on me, and so all I could smell was like something burning, and I could tell the car when I let off the gas, the car was wanting to stop, and so I had to pull over and get that one towed. That one's the only one I actually had to get towed to a shop, but that one's been fine since.
Yeah.
Being stranded is when I went with my cousin on the way to the Jays game. He was in I think a 90 or 91 Eagle Talon, black.
Yeah.
On the way to the
I've
Jays
heard
game.
the story.
I know you have. On the way to the Jays game, I was super excited. I was like a teenager. I'm like, yeah, Jays game. I didn't even know if I'd been to a Jays game. We get to downtown Toronto. The car is leaking so much coolant. We pull over. He's like, oh, something's wrong with the car. We pull over and we look under the car, and there's just coolant everywhere. Needless to say, there was no Jays game that day, and we had to get the car. I think he got it towed. I can't even remember. It's all a blur after that. I think that's the only time I feel like that qualifies as a stranding.
Yeah.
Because it messed up my day.
Good old Eagle Town.
Yeah, they suck.
It was a 91. The 90 was the best year.
I don't know what year it was. Wait, I'm going to look it up now. I'm going to see.
Because mine was a 90. It was perfect.
Now, yours was the one without the pop-up headlights?
Mine had they popped up out of the front. Mine was the first year they made the car.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so his was either a 90 or a 91, not a 92. So it was a 90 or a 91.
It's a good year.
Yeah. Good year for the Talon.
What is the strangest story that has happened to you in a car? You might have already covered this.
I think so. That might have been it that I just met. I wasn't really. That wasn't strange. I don't know.
Nothing really strange, yeah.
Anything strange happened to you in a car?
Any ghosts? Have you hit a ghost?
I've never hit a ghost. Some weird stuff has happened, sure, while I was in a car. And when I was a kid, I remember, I think we were in my dad's brown, his Mercedes was brown. His 70s Mercedes diesel was brown, and it was leather seats. I remember like peeking out the window while we were in downtown Toronto, and and I looked up into a window, and some lady was staring right back at me, like probably early 20s to mid 20s. She was staring right at me, and then she started dancing and undoing her belt.
What?
Yeah, I'm not even joking, dude. And I was like a little kid. I'm like, huh? What is that? What is going on? I don't know what's going on here, but I like it. But then we took off. Like it was at a stoplight or something. We weren't like,
man.
yeah. And then all of a sudden we started taking off, and I'm like looking back like, huh? What was that?
Where were you?
At downtown Toronto. I can't remember the exact street.
Downtown, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a 2-story house, and she was in the top story in the window. And I was like, what? I was probably maybe 9 or 10 at the time.
Oh my goodness.
But I feel like she was looking right, like she was making eye contact with me. And then she was smiling too while she did it. Like she's like, oh, I'm going to make this little kid's day. And
that's illegal.
I know, right? Oh, you know what? I never even thought of it like that. Yeah. Yeah, she's a little pedo.
Big time.
If you're listening, that was really cool of you to do. Just kidding.
You scarred little Dan.
You scarred me for life. To this day, I have a weird fascination with belts.
And staring up at windows.
That's right. I look at every window I drive by now, hoping to see you again.
One day we'll be reunited.
One day.
Except she'll be 50-something.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof. I don't have anything strange, but I remember part of the mall in the town that I grew up in, one of the stores turned into like a car showroom or something for like a week, or I can't remember. I was really, really young, but I do remember what happened, the trauma that ensued.
Oh boy.
So my family wasn't the richest family. We had Buicks and Oldsmobiles at the time that were probably in the 80s, and this happened probably in the early 90s. So that's not too bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But we never had like power locks or anything like that. I'd never seen power locks before.
Mm-hmm.
So I get in one of these cars because I'm a kid and I'm just playing in all these cars, and you're allowed to go in and look at them. And I get in a car, and I guess I pushed the automatic lock button inside.
Okay.
And like in all my cars, it just had the top of the door.
Right.
You just had the knob that you pull up or down, and that was it.
And you got in a car and you locked yourself in.
And I locked myself in at like 6 years old or something like that.
Oh no.
And my parents go looking for me, and they see me at this car, and they're banging on the window. I'm like, I don't know how to get out, because I'm trying to grab the door lock thing, the knob, but it's in the
Yeah, it's like flush with the door panel.
So the car tried to steal me.
The car tried to take you. You were almost abducted by a parked vehicle.
Inside of a showroom.
Did the dealership, like, did a guy go and get the key or something?
I don't remember. I think eventually I figured out how to push the button or something.
Really?
I don't
Oh, wow,
remember.
look at you. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 6 years old. I was a mastermind.
Well,
It's
I don't know if
it was
I
a
go
new
that-
it was a new technology. I was like a caveman inside of like a spaceship.
Yeah, those
Come on.
power locks, man, they'll get you every time.
They are complicated.
You got to be careful. I can admit to something today that I did when I was a kid. I remember going car shopping with my dad at a used car dealership, and I was bored to tears.
Yeah.
Really young. I don't know how young I was. I picked up a rock.
Uh-oh.
And
No, you didn't.
listen.
What did you do?
I was a little kid. I don't know what the heck happened. I picked up a rock. I guess my aim wasn't the greatest. I was like in the middle of two cars, and I threw the rock as hard as I could up into the sky just because I want to. Listen, just let me finish here. Let me defend my actions. I wanted to see how far I could throw it. I threw it not into the sky, like into the distance, like to see how far I could throw it. And as soon as I released that rock, I heard a crack, and the window directly in front of me completely broke.
What?
But nobody saw it or heard anything because you know how it shatters, but it doesn't like come out because it's like the tempered glass or whatever it is. So it cracked the driver's side door glass, and then I just left. Like I had wandered away from my dad, so I was like. I know, right? And I hadn't told anyone since. And so there you go.
What?
Exclusive.
Like, you guys just left?
He didn't see what I did. Nobody saw it. It was just me. And I got super scared, and I ran back to him.
I'm calling the cops right now.
I still don't know how that happened because I feel like I could throw at that point in my life.
Apparently not.
But I don't know how I threw it and it went straight instead of up. And like that window just got destroyed. It was just instant crackage. But luckily there was nobody around me.
Oh my goodness.
I was probably convincing my dad to leave. I think it's time to go, Dad. I think we should go. See, I can't believe I didn't tell him, honestly, because I'm not that like I've admitted to I'm like one of those kids that I have to like if I do something wrong, I feel super guilty and I have to tell my parents about it. But that was a moment that I did not say a word.
What kind of dealership was it? Do you remember the car?
No, I don't remember the car. I don't remember the dealership. I remember it was outdoors, obviously, and it was like I remember it being really tight between the cars, and I was just walking around while my dad was talking to the guy, and that's when I decided to try to alleviate some boredom by throwing some rocks.
Oh my goodness!
You know what? If I had actually made the throw, I don't know what would have happened because I feel like that was in a city, like a populated area, and the rock would have come down and hit something. Listen, I was an idiot. I don't know how old I was.
And you're giving me guff for getting locked in a car.
Well, at least if I got locked in a car, I'd know to break the window. That's right. I was a criminal, an admitted criminal.
You're a fugitive right now.
I am. Imagine that guy's listening. Hey, I remember one time my dealership had a random cracked window. What happened?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that happened.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I ever see you pick up a rock, I'm running away.
So there. Well, we answered Spartan's question pretty well. I think we got into some detail there.
Yeah, that was good.
That's definitely one of the strangest stories that's happened with me. Both of them, while I was in a car and then with a car. I've answered both of your questions. Both of your options.
All right. We also got some questions from Twitter. You want to get into those?
Yeah, sure. Canuck, at the Canuck, at the _ Canuck. Favorite four-wheel drive vehicle? One old and one new. Old being anything manufactured more than 25 years ago. Go. My thoughts exactly.
Yeah. We haven't looked at these questions. I just copied and pasted them into the sheet. Favorite four-wheel vehicle, new. The Toyota Tundra.
Wow, that's a quick one.
Yeah, it's a truck. It has a 4-wheel mode, but
Okay.
it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of the Jeeps are kind of cool.
Okay. I guess so.
Um,
Yeah, the Jeeps are kind of
yeah.
cool. The open
The
top, like the TJs.
old- Yeah, exactly.
Or is it the YJs? It's the TJs, right? I'm pretty sure it's the TJs.
TJ. I think there's both.
There is both, but I'm not sure which one is cooler. I think I'm gonna look it up right now. Jeep, TJ.
I'm gonna say the YJ.
You're gonna say the YJ?
Yeah.
It's definitely the TJs.
Okay, I said the TJ.
Could be the YJ. They look very similar. I have no idea what the difference is between them. I'm sure some. I am not a truck
clue.
person. If you haven't
That's
noticed.
not a truck.
Well, it's close. 4-wheel drive. So I guess for me, favorite 4-wheel drive vehicle. I've always had a fascination with older Land Rovers.
Yeah, those are cool.
So
Yeah.
I'd love like an old Discovery would be amazing. And anything new, man, I recently saw the new Range Rovers, the new Land Rovers, like the full-sized, and there's like the extended. Oh, those things look so sleek and nice. I would have to pick one of those too. I'm going Land Rover all across the board.
What's the little ugly Land Rover?
The Evoque.
Is that what it is?
Yes. You're talking about
I
like
saw-
the 2-door little looking thing, right?
I don't know. I saw one on the highway the other day. It's like a little tiny looks dumb.
It is dumb. I hate it.
Yeah,
I really hate it.
Evoque.
And do you know those things come in convertible?
Oh yeah, that's the one I saw. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
stupid.
Oh, I know.
Don't-
I agree with you.
Oh,
I drove
yeah,
one.
no.
I think I had
Ugh.
one for a couple days while my car was in the shop, and I felt ridiculous in it.
Yeah, it looks horrible.
I don't
Anyways,
like it. Yeah.
No. Yeah, there you go. Ben.
Yeah. Let's.
Says ugliest car and/or ugliest car you've owned.
Ugliest car ever. Oh, I got an easy one.
Ugliest car ever. There you
Easy
go.
one for me.
Okay, go ahead.
The Pontiac Aztec.
Oof. Yeah.
By far the ugliest car I've ever seen on the road. I don't think that crown will ever be taken away.
It was bad. Okay. What TV show did that come out on? Or what TV show was that associated with? Do you remember?
TV show? I don't know.
Reality TV show.
A reality? Was it Survivor?
Survivor. The first winner of Survivor got a
you're
Pontiac
right.
Aztec.
Oh, man, did they give it back?
Well, that guy I think he got charged for tax evasion.
Yeah, it was
so-
Richard something was his name. I remember. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Survivor, and I just remember that now. That's true. That car,
Yeah.
I hated it. I think the selling point on that thing was because you could like put a tent attachment or something in the
You could
back.
put a tent on the back.
Yeah, I think that's maybe why they chose that as the vehicle, the face, the vehicle for Survivor. Survivor official vehicle, the Pontiac Aztec. It was brutal.
Is it no wonder why Pontiac is out of business now?
Yeah, with decisions like those, absolutely.
Like it's not even some cars you can.
There are no redeeming
Justify.
qualities. Yeah.
The only positive that came out of it was featured in Breaking Bad.
Featured how?
It was a dude's car. He drove that for a while. He drove like a
Really?
gray one. Yeah.
An Aztec?
An Aztec. I think he got it. I think that was the original one he had.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
No wonder that show's off the air. Survivor's still going strong, though.
Yeah. There you go. Breaking Bad. If you just did that, if you had an Aztec. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that.
that's
Yeah.
brutal.
I'll say that's the. I've never owned an ugly car.
Well,
I
that's
guess.
what I was gonna say. That question is a little bit tricky because the reason you buy them is because you like the vehicle, like you like the way they
Yeah.
look. Like you're not gonna buy something. Oh, that car is ugly. I want it. So that's kind of a tough question to answer. If you had to pick one, though, what do you think would be your answer for all the vehicles you've owned? The ugliest one.
The current one.
Okay. You're so quick to rag on that
yeah.
thing.
Big time.
For me, I guess my first car would probably be I would pick the Talon for you, by the way. I'm sorry.
No. The show's over.
I'm leaving. I would say my Focus was, I think, the ugliest car I owned. 2000
Yeah.
black Ford Focus.
And your Jaguar and your Aston and
Those are not ugly.
not even a little bit.
No.
All right, next question. Jake.
Yeah.
Maybe he's from Kansas?
Jake underscore Kansas. Absolutely, he's from Kansas.
If you had to choose to take one model of car from Earth to colonize a new planet, which car would you choose?
It would have to be electric, wouldn't it?
Oh, you're thinking. Oh,
I'm thinking scientifically here. If I'm taking a car to get around on another planet, it has to be electric, and then I have to have some sort of charging ability. I guess I can hook up a few solar panels and do it that way. So it would have to be electric. I don't like Teslas, so I'm going to have to Google electric vehicles right now. I'm not a fan of electric vehicles. So
did you know Tesla's in the midst of researching a way to put solar panels, like integrate them into the roof of the car?
From the time that they released that vehicle, that's something I thought about. Like, why wouldn't they put...
Oh, yeah.
And then I always thought about, like, why would they have a giant screen inside the vehicle if you're trying to conserve as much battery power as possible? But, yeah, that never really... they haven't changed any of that.
They're putting solar panels in the roof. Because Elon Musk owns a solar panel company.
You know what vehicle I would take?
What's that?
The Mars Rover. Isn't it like all-terrain? It's an all-terrain vehicle. It's solar-powered. That's what I would take.
It's not completely solar-powered.
Oh, it also says one model of car from Earth. I can't pick it.
Well, there is a Mars rover on Earth.
Perfect. Done.
And the Mars rover came from Earth. It's not solar-powered, but I think it's nuclear-powered.
Okay. Well, it's not solar-powered? I thought it was solar-powered.
No, there's
I don't know.
There's like a little bit of solar powerage.
Okay.
Like not the main. The Curiosity rover is not solar powered.
Okay. I don't know anything about space. I'll leave that to you.
Come to my Space Channel.
Yeah. What is it called again?
Space Course?
That's it. Space Course.
Do you know how big the Mars Curiosity rover is?
Oh yeah, I've seen. It's huge.
It's gigantic. It's bigger than my car.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Right. Yeah,
that's enough space.
It's a massive vehicle. I would take the. Oh my god, all these electric cars look terrible. The Volkswagen e-Golf, fully electric vehicle. The Volkswagen e-Golf would be my choice because it looks like a normal Golf, and I wouldn't feel like an idiot driving it around.
Yeah, because all the Martians are judging your cars.
I want to look good. It's not about the Martians. It's about what I feel.
Is there an electric Winnebago?
Electric Winnebago.
Because if I'm going to colonize another planet, I'm assuming there's not a whole lot of stuff there.
I see you in
something comfortable.
I see you in the Hyundai Ioniq Electric.
I'll take that. We'll blast off in our e-Golf and our Ioniq.
Absolutely.
There we go. Yeah, I think that will solve the space race.
Mm-hmm.
David McLeod. Okay,
what a fake name. That sounds like a fake name. David McLeod. He's got a bunch of questions.
He's got like 20 questions here. We'll rapid fire.
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
Ready. All-time favorite car.
That's not a rapid fire answer. I guess I'd have to go with the early 80s Lotus Esprit Turbo, and I think they made a twin turbo at one point just because it was my favorite childhood car. What about you?
Rapid fire. 1990 Lamborghini Diablo.
Wow. Okay.
All-time most hated car.
Most hated car. Early 90s Eagle Talons.
As good as. I don't know. Dodge Viper.
Whoa! Wow! Really? Okay.
Yeah. If you designed your own car for production, what would it look like? What would its name be? How much would it be? Blah, 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 blah.
I don't know about all the other stuff. What would it look like? Exactly like the Ferrari California. I love the way that vehicle looks. Is like one of my favorite things to look at.
I'm going to say the car that I drew in grade 3 art class.
That would be a very boxy vehicle with squared wheels.
Yeah. I could draw circles in grade 3. Old Top Gear or Grand Tour?
Oh, that's a good question. I love the Grand Tour, but I think I liked. Oh, that's a tough question. I'm gonna go with the Old Top Gear. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. because
gonna have to agree.
there's some bangers. Like the
Oh,
Bolivia
yeah.
trip. The Bolivia trip is absolutely my all-time favorite Top Gear episode. I love it.
Yeah, the old Top Gear 100%. Just because the new one is good. It's high production value.
Way higher than the old one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They do really expensive, ridiculous things, which is all great. It's good. The three guys are perfect. But old Top Gear with the Stig and with like the stupid cheeky British humor that is like it's so authentically British.
Yeah.
The new show is really American.
It is.
I find.
It is.
But-
And it's the budget, you can tell, is way higher. They're going all around the world within one episode, you know what I mean? Like, they're all over the place. But the old one, I think what made it special is they actually did sprinkle in some car reviews in there.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know if
The
that's the
lorry
case with
race?
this new one.
Do you remember racing
The lorry
lorries?
race. The Vietnam special also was really, really incredible.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, I love that. I love the old Top Gear. But I'm a
Top
fan.
Gear for
I think the new Grand Tour is going to be coming out soon, too, if I'm not mistaken.
The new season?
Yeah, the new season.
I don't know.
Season 2.
It's
I'm
only
going to
on
look it up.
Amazon?
Oh, wait. No, Season 2 is already out. Sorry, Season 3. Season 3. I'll find it. Read the next question.
Okay. From Fuya
Okay.
on Twitter. What's the worst thing ever happened to your car seats? For example, lots of bad stuff.
Huh.
What's the worst thing that ever happened?
A little update on the Grand Tour. Apparently, assume it hasn't been announced, but they're assuming late November, early December of this year. Okay. That's a weird question.
Very.
What is the worst thing to ever happen to your car seats? I don't know. I'm actually really careful with stuff like that. I think maybe just like I've had my dogs take him to the park. It's been like a muddy day, and then I have to like bring him back with me. I usually put a blanket down, but that doesn't always go well, and the dogs kind of like get on the seat somehow. So I've had mud in my back seat. That's probably about it.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, so nothing's been spilled in any of my vehicles.
Well, yeah, here we go. Totally worth it.
Totally. My kids cost me $4,000 in a new interior in my vehicle because they threw up and peed all over the place. Totally worth it.
Okay, do you want to hear my answer?
Oh, is it going to involve pee and throw up?
Maybe.
Okay, let's hear it.
So my car, same answers you. Nothing, because I don't really let anything in my car.
Right.
Or in my cars. But the family car, on the other hand, or the minivan or the Nissan, it's had all sorts of good stuff all over it.
Oh, boy.
No pee or any of that stuff, but mostly just throw up.
That's gross,
Kids
man.
do that.
That's gross.
It's very gross. Yeah. Especially when you're driving and you literally have to pull over to the side of the highway.
I just remembered when I was it wasn't in my seats, though. It was on my center console. But when I was driving around, a friend of mine, we stopped by Tim Hortons, and she ordered a Frosty. No, not a. What do you? It's like it was just
Wendy's.
a smoothie. No, it was just a smoothie, but it was a Tim Hortons smoothie. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
So she ordered one of those. Didn't put the cap on correctly, I don't think. So she set it down on the center console, and then I started to drive away, and she picked it up and picked up just the lid. The thing spilled. There was smoothie all in my center console. Like, it got in the center console. All the buttons got sticky. I spent a long time. To this day, I still find like sticky parts in and around the center console occasionally. But that was probably the worst thing to ever have happened in my car. But it wasn't to my car seats. Yeah.
No. It could have been a lot worse if it was like a coffee or tea or something with milk in it. If it had milk in it.
Oh, yeah. That would stink.
Oof. It's bad.
Yeah, I think a lot of the electronics are kept in the center console too in the Aston.
Yeah.
So I was lucky that nothing went wrong.
Wait, that was in your Aston?
Yeah, that was in the Aston.
Oh, how do you even let liquids in that car?
I know. It was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. Never again.
Never again.
It's a liquid-free zone now.
Liquid free.
Yeah.
Breon. Breon?
Yep, classic Breon.
Breon on Twitter. What car would you like to see brought back from the dead with retro styling? Think recent Camaro, Charger, Bronco, etc.
That's an awesome question.
Very good.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to think on that one for a little bit. Trying to think of older vehicles that I would just love to have. Oh, I know. I have a perfect answer for this.
Okay.
The old E-Type Jaguars.
What's that look like?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm joking.
It is beautiful.
It's literally like, if you're a car person, the old XKE or any of those cars are like the most famous cars for being some of the most beautiful cars ever.
Absolutely. I would love it if they re-released that with like an updated, I guess everything under the shell updated, but kept that original styling. Oh my God, would I love that.
How would you do that? Like, it'd be so, yeah. Because of the bumper laws and stuff that you need now.
Oh, please, Jeff. We're not talking about laws here. This is purely fictional, creative thought.
Okay. I'm sorry.
There's no laws happening in my mind.
Laws. Okay, so we're bringing back the XKE.
The XKE?
Sure.
That's what you would want to bring back?
No. I'm saying, is that the one? Or are we just bringing the E-Type?
The E-Type. Any E-Type.
I'd like a my second favorite car, to answer the question earlier from the Lamborghini. My second favorite car is a '67 Mustang GT500.
Beautiful vehicles.
I'd like that redone properly.
Like all modernized under the shell?
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the newer, late 90s, early 90s, late 90s. They're all trash. Early 2000s are bad. I don't know. I want one redone properly.
Yeah, I just learned.
I don't know how.
I just learned that the XKE was. I thought that was a different model, but it is the E-Type apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the XKE in North America.
Yeah.
See, I'm a purist. I'm a...
Oh, sorry.
I call it by its original name. The Jaguar E-Type.
So
that would be cool.
500.
Yeah, absolutely. I think didn't we cover something like that where they were remaking
They're remaking the Shelby. So I've looked into this a little bit. Apparently, so Shelby is a completely different company, owned by the Shelby family, I'm assuming. And they make like Shelby one-offs of the Mustang, but they're not made by Ford. They basically take Mustangs and like do them up their own way.
Right.
But then Ford also has the rights to the names GT350 and GT500. Okay. And I think Cobra as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Ford puts out... So like I think last year there was a Ford Mustang GT500 or GT350 or something like that. There's a Ford Cobra. There's all these Fords. But then there's like a Ford Mustang rebadged as a Shelby.
Interesting.
And they're all like the same car.
Huh.
It's really weird and complicated because they own different rights to the names and things, but there's no genuine remake of the original GT500.
Right. Interesting.
To Eleanor.
Yeah, that was a beautiful car. I thought I'd heard this on actually a Top Gear episode. There is a company making modernized E-Types out there. I think the company's name, unfortunately, is Eagle.
Beautiful company.
Nothing to do with the original Eagle manufacturer, I hope. But yeah, they are. I think they take like E-Type shells and then they I guess update them, modern brakes, modern engines, stuff like that. So that'd be kind of cool to have one of those. It's not a true like I want when I talk about bringing it back. I mean like I want Jaguar to sell them at their dealerships. Like bring that bad boy back, modernize it a little bit, and just start selling those things.
Mm-hmm.
That would be amazing.
At the same time, I would take a original Shelby Cobra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That would be a good one to bring back for sure.
Yeah. It'd be the same because it's a similar body style to the E-Type's not the same, but it's a much smaller
Yeah.
car, but same idea.
Great question, Breon.
Yeah, thank
Great
you.
question. And great show.
Great show.
That wraps it up. Those are all that we got to all the questions. So lucky for you Twitter peeps, we managed to squeeze you guys in. Thank you so much for listening. We want to thank everybody who supports us, who clicks the like button on YouTube, who listens to us on all the various outlets you can listen to us on, and especially the patrons because they're supporting us financially.
Yeah.
And that's, it's just the way the world works.
And you get question priority.
That's right. Question priorita. Obey my priorita. South Park reference. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you in the next one with a very, very special guest. I'm not going to say it because just in case things happen and he can't make it. But it should be a good one.
Elon Musk is... sorry.
Elon Musk is coming to join us. This time we don't have drugs for him to try on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry, Mr. Musk. We're not going to do
goodness. That. It's also illegal here. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, for now.
There for today.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. We're done,
Thanks
people.
for listening.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.